Chapter 20, Episode 12. Zara was about to have dinner. Not a rapist. At least not convicted of such a crime. He had a lot of money and paid people to explain to girls that they had no choice if they wanted a passport. It was a fine line. One could say no one is forced to be a prostitute. But that was a convenient lie. One could also say poverty sucks in a world where money is God. Makes a slave class, in the age where we think slavery is history, still legitimate. Like most of the food Sarah killed at home, he was very confused as to how he went from being on his way to a dinner meeting with a rich lawyer in his helicopter to being naked in a room with no windows and no obvious door. He had his eyes closed when Sarah came in, so was very surprised when she kicked him to wake him from his trance. "Who the fuck are you? Where the fuck?" He looked at her naked body. She was beautiful. Not the kind of girl he liked to fuck. She was too big and too strong. There were too many scars. He was, however, getting aroused looking at her vagina. Maybe this was a fantasy he had arranged and the request had been for a little surprise. He decided to go with it and get up to give the pretty vagina just a little kiss. Just before he got close enough to kiss that wonderful smiling genitalia, his head snapped sideways. Then it snapped the other direction. He was being hit. That couldn't be right. "Bitch, I do the hitting, not you." She hit him again. Not a playful slap, a ringing in the head, painful with closed fist, not at all friendly kind of hit. Very fucked up. He got up on his feet and forgot about the woman's vagina as a plaything and thought he'd give it a good kick. But somehow he missed and got kicked in the balls so that he almost fell over. When he had recovered, he reached to grab her throat and she punched his hand so fast and hard that they both went numb. He was so furious he attacked her like a predator with claws, only to be beaten again. When he heard his elbow snap, he almost fainted. If not for the terror and rage, he would have given in and collapsed. Like many victims of the Prescott private dining room, he was hoping to wake up somewhere else. Then the bitch bit him. She bit a chunk of flesh out of his shoulder. Blood burst out and down his arm. Blood dripped down the naked monster that had appeared to him as a young woman. He opened his mouth. There was something he wanted to say, but then her hand was on his penis. And he was very hard. Harder than he had ever been in a long time. Perhaps, just maybe, he had paid for this. The creature was going down on him, licking his heart on. He wanted to hold her head and ram his cock down her throat, but his arms had no strength. So he simply leaned against the wall and let it happen. Let someone be in control. And when he thought he could take the slow licking no longer, she finally took him into her mouth. He could see in his imagination the inside of her mouth when his cock made contact. And everything else that led to that great last orgasm. Seeing stars and spinning in some kind of other world. Penis finally going limp, getting bitten off, more bleeding, rib cage broken and ripped open, heart ripped out, and several bites taken out.